It's Oberon and Neptune beat up the planet.
Woo! All right.
And we're back doing some Dynasty Warriors.
We're playing with boats. Yeah. All right.
Let's get the boat on. So you know what? It's a good thing to talk about with all of our friends out there.
All of them.
All of them.
A good thing to talk about for them. A good thing to talk about for them is the wisdom of taking flip bumps onto steel chairs.
I mean, practical in all of our lines of business, to be sure.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't do that.
I was thinking of the good old-fashioned black box.
Oh, good. I was worried you were going to tell me you had something to tell me for 15 or something to sell me for $15, but you couldn't tell me what it was.
Oh, no. Those are loot boxes. That's going to be any enemy that you fight. It's just a giant loot pinata, and you roll for the fucking results. So.
I can tell you it's got experience and loot in it.
Yes, and of course the loot is roll. 3 scrolls of roll. Full strength.
Yeah. It's always it's a scroll of read magic. You want read magic? Do you have read magic? No. Okay.
We're not talking about those, although they may drop in their loot tables or in your dungeon setup a black box. The idea of a black box is it's something, and it can be almost anything, that has enough information to get your players wondering and exploring the world. You're dragging them on a mystery. They don't know exactly what's up with it. They're trying to figure it out, and it just drags them across the world, wherever you need them to go.
Ah, I see. The thing that this black box contains is the hook.
Ish, yeah. Either the hook or many hooks. There are very reusable black boxes.
Yeah,
And
be careful when you're sticking your hand in them.
and they are a very good solution when you just don't know how to get your players somewhere. I think the simplest one is just a black box created through incongruity.
An anachronism.
Yeah. Basically, if you ever hear your players ask, "What's that doing here?" It's your opportunity. They have already posited the question, although you can get them to ask the question.
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah, and it literally doesn't matter what it is. You're just sniping that moment of question to put a link to a craftsperson that the bard might know of in a faraway town, and no other information. Make it a little odd. Make it like, oh, this statue won't break. The hell. Or give it some other slightly strange tweak as they're looking at it.
Yeah, a great tweak is nations. Hi, you're in Rome? Well, what's this Grecian coin doing here?
Yeah, simplest currency. What's this?
You have a coin with the wrong emperor, you're under arrest.
Right? Yeah, you can use it to arrest the party and drag them off somewhere. You can use it for them to investigate and go, hey, wait, where would the Grecian coin come from? Well, what's the nearest port town?
Yeah. Oh, it was that no money changer I saw.
Yeah.
Gonna go ask him.
And it's a simple black box, and then it just takes them to the next one in an easy and natural manner. Those are great, especially if you just have no idea how you're going to get your players to a place because they've gone completely off track. And then they ask that beautiful question, which is, we're back on track, baby!
Yeah!
If you put something in a hoard at the end of a dungeon, there's great opportunities. In those cases, I'd suggest very simple things that get overlooked a lot, like art.
Oh yeah, art's a great spot in whenever you roll that, you're on your yeah. Whenever you start hitting those loot tables and you roll art, that's an absolutely amazing opportunity right there. You can put anything you want there. Is it a statue of the hero? Is it a dragon egg? Is it a gem with a particular setting? A crown? Whatever.
Hell, a giant ass tapestry.
Tapestries. That could be the next dungeon.
A fucking ornate but empty scroll case.
Yep.
Just any of those perfect, simple mystery boxes. They have a hook in them, and they just drag you around. But there's some more robust versions of this that are a little bit more fun.
Yeah, like what was that?
My personal favorite is the lure. That's basically a thing that is enchanted that people don't know why it's got. People don't know why it's good. It's basically a MacGuffin. As far as the plot's concerned, it has the equivalent of the magic spell lure cast on it.
Oh, so the it's like a bug zapper that doesn't zap.
Yeah, it just drags in anyone that would be interested in it. And you can define anyone that would be interested in it as the principal cast of NPCs that your player will have to out shit fuck or whatever.
You know, my favorite example of that is actually in a Star Trek: The Next Generation episode.
Ooh, do tell.
You remember that one where everyone was asking Captain Picard if he was seeking Jamaharan?
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, and then he figures out that Riker told him to get a sex doll. He's like, oh, and he hides it under his towel. Is the best.
Ugh. But yeah, it's a way of, instead of moving your players to the plot, moving the plot to your players.
Yeah.
Until they figure out it's a lure, and then there's another hook after that.
Fine, you don't want to play the game will play you.
Yeah. And the next lure after that is, why do they all want this? You end up in like a Coen Brothers situation where you're holding the bag that has all the diamonds in it. Wait, no, that's Guy Ritchie. Still, same idea. You're holding the bag that everyone wants, and you don't know why. But
you just get the idea that they're bad people, and you should probably keep it from them.
And you can't avoid these bad people, and you're naturally going to either be dragged around by them because you're trying to run from their mobs of goons, or you're gonna seek them out.
Yeah, that's great for a modern day setting, and that way you could have, like, also the government chasing them.
Yeah.
Men in suits.
There's a lot of things you can do with the lure.
Earpieces.
I mean, the Pulp Fiction did it. Pulp Fiction did it pretty hard.
No, the men in the suits were holding the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Well, it's slightly different.
But, what was it? The Shadow?
I don't believe I've ever seen the Shadow.
The Spirit? I got 8 of everything!
Oh, oh, wow. I can't... That's literally the only thing I remember about that movie. Holy
you don't
shit.
remember Guten Tag?
Guten Tag. Okay, I remember that now. Okay, I can remember Samuel L. Jackson. What the hell was that movie about?
Yeah, it wanted to be a super extreme Sin City, but they couldn't afford Elijah Wood. So
Yeah.
They got Samuel L. Jackson instead, and that was good.
No, yeah, he was great. It's just I literally have no idea. There was a tie?
Yeah, there was a tie. That was the only thing that was like in red.
Yeah, okay.
So, very Schindler's List of them.
I remember liking it. Now I just can't remember it. That's sad.
It is vapor, but it's very good smelling vapor.
I hear they want to make that illegal now.
Oh no!
No, good no. Okay, anyway.
But yeah, it's that. It's the lure. The other one that's cool that I've seen you use a few times is the magic item that advances.
A transmogrifying MacGuffin?
Yeah, it's like,
Ooh.
as you discover more about it, it unlocks more. And it shows you that it's unlocked more.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of... You have this thing that has more and more clues as to places you should go and visit.
Yeah. Or maybe just once a season when Itsagi Sakino levels up, her gem changes shape.
I mean, whatever.
You have leveled up.
As long as you can use that gem to find the next baddie.
And again, just like the previous black box, because of the gem, they usually found her.
Yeah. That was a good combo, actually, because,
Yeah. Very well written on Naoko-sama's part.
Perfectly situated for repetition.
Yeah.
Wait.
I mean...
But, like, evolving magic items, the other nice thing is then you don't have to feel like you're forcing your characters into a box of what their magic items are when you go, what's on the loot table? It's like, no, one of the drops of this encounter is your spear leveled up. instead of getting a magic item drop, it's now a +2 flaming spear instead of a +1.
You know, I still think that series would have been way different if Queen Beryl stood up and said, after 10,000 years, I'm free. I just don't think it would have been the same.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, but where would they have found the lions?
Somewhere.
I mean, Usagi would just be forming Blazing Sword instead of Blazing Tiara.
Form Blazing Sword, yeah. But then the blue one would have to be the head, and it'd be weird.
Yeah, and everyone's colors would be wrong.
It would be legally distinct. No joke. I swear I've seen those pictures, though. I mean, that's a thing.
A legally distinct combination mecha fighter?
Yeah, that's specifically a legally distinct female Sentai team. Yeah.
I mean, Sentai team's fun. I'd run a Sentai game.
Have run.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah. That's right. I did, didn't I?
It was great.
It was a good time. That was Super Sentai Team Mega Dukes, right?
Yeah, the Mega Dukes. I forget. I don't think we had robots, did we?
Yeah, well, no, your robots were your class levels.
Okay.
And every once in a while, the green guy got knocked out of his class levels and had just level 1 commoner stats. That was kind of scary. That was the guy who's playing Salphon now.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So, right there, that's actually another kind of black box.
Yeah?
Yeah, the items that your characters already have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially shit they just never look at.
It's risky, though, because usually if if I took away the dwarf fighter's axe, I think she'd be pretty upset. So it's careful. You got to be really careful when you're doing it this way. I've even heard some DMs seeking out their players' permission beforehand. I feel confident I could do it to my table because you guys are pretty mature and are unironically playing a good party. It's friggin' weird.
Well, yeah, we're playing druids.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I think only one of you is good. I think there's a lawful neutral, a chaotic neutral, and a neutral.
Yeah, I'm the neutral good one.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm more neutral than good.
Right. It's bizarre. You guys are hitting the middle of the mark so cleanly and being just generally good enough that I don't feel the need to bother you about it.
Well, you do as good as you can.
Yeah.
But the world is a hard place.
Like, I want to see the four of you, like, make a concerted effort to play evil characters once.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've let people stretch their legs for that, but I would love to play an evil game.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, speaking of the evil game though, that kind of black box would be harder for them to do because they would just go to the next town and steal it from some poor commoners. If you take away the power of the good cleric's holy symbol, he's got a quest to go get it back.
Yeah.
But again, that could be just, what were you doing taking away my powers? I wouldn't have built the cleric if I knew you were going to take away I've directly hered that before.
Looking at you, dead gentleman.
Oh, man. Oh, that guy. You did that to Paul?
No. There's a production company called Dead Gentleman, and one of the key things was there was like a 10-minute rant about you wouldn't have played a cleric if you knew that he would have taken away your powers in the middle of a fight, would you?
Oh, okay. No,
and then he goes, plot. Plot trumps rules.
Plot trumps rules.
It does. It's true.
It really does. Here, I thought we were going to talk about Paul again.
Oh, no. Although, I trolled Paul in many, many ways. Honestly, I did that with Paul, but with not with one of his items, but with a recurring villain that he just had an incredible distaste for.
Oh, yeah, when the black box is a mind flayer.
Yeah, he was like, oh, he fucked Loki. And then, made a deal, and then Loki...
To be clear, put him in a disadvantageous situation.
Yeah. And then...
Very could easily be the other thing, though.
So Loki goes, give me your sheet. Now, Paul, the player, didn't have a sheet at the time. And I go, all right, well, I'll take the top sheet off the stack. It was the Mind Flayer they had just dedicated so many resources to kill. And I go, okay, Loki's in the body of this Mind Flayer. Fuck! It was a good time.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Mind Flayer proceeded to drag them all over the world because they needed to slay the Mind Flayer again.
Why won't she stay dead?
That's your fault, not mine. You tried to play fast and loose with the God of Trickery.
Shouldn't have fucked him so hard.
So the other good one, which is kind of like It's like the one we just said, but it's a little bit more explicit. If you're working Fate-style hooks into your game, or just playing like a Fate accelerated campaign like I do every once in a while, it's just drop blank hooks on an item. Like, they're just empty. People know there's more to explore. I think the most important part is that somebody either has to ask the question, what or why, about an item, or they have to know there's more to understand that has a promise of relevance and interest.
I have done that before in my game, usually in the form of a failed roll. I just say reasonably in my head, what could they not... Like, if they rolled a 20, I guess they'd get this 35 knowledge arcane check. Go ahead, roll.
Yeah.
Was it a 20? Nah, fuck off. Sometimes I don't even say the number. I'm just saying, if they roll a 20, I'm going to tell them.
Yeah.
Nope, no 20.
I have literally just taken sheets for items that end up looking like a character sheet in Fate, because a character sheet in Fate is like 5 hooks or attributes and some
5 lines on a note card.
Yeah, and just gone, oh, you want that item? Sure. I hand it to them, and it's literally like 1 filled in saying what the item is, because they figured out what the fuck that was, and then 4 or 5 just blank spots.
What that really is are the notes I wrote myself.
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean? Left claw. What the heck? It's just left claw.
It implies there's a right one, right?
Yeah. That's all you really know.
Yeah, and sometimes the players will write better hooks than you to fill them in. That's the best part of those, is as they research and as they work in the world to try and figure out what they are, they will come up with hypotheses for each of those, especially if you give them a free question on them every once in a while. Like, oh yeah, you did really good with that arcane knowledge roll. You get a free question from me on one of these hooks. Go, ask.
That's one I gotta use more often. You get a free question.
I
do?
Yeah, you get a free piece of information. What do you want?
I get to use a free... Ooh, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna play with it, I'm gonna think about my free question. I'm gonna think about all the ways the DM's gonna screw me with my free answer.
My favorite idea that I came up with recently is because Fate does a lot of that questioning stuff. Like, a lot of the game is figuring out what is unknown.
Right.
That's where a lot of the tension is. So one of my favorite things that I just wrote in our rule book is if you have a crit fail in an approach, if you have a negative approach, you get an additional free question. Like, oh, I got 3 free questions for my roll, and I've got a crit fail in the approach, so I get an additional question. And I'm allowed to lie on one of those questions.
I'm not going to ask any of my free questions. Are you sure you want to do that?
Not even saying that I am lying, not telling you which question I might be lying on.
Just that I get to.
I'm allowed to lie for 1.
Oh, man. And that's free. Don't be afraid of saying that, guys, because remember, you're the DM. You're always lying.
But yeah,
nothing's changed here.
The natural mystery of it all just kind of gets your characters where they need to go. As they continue to question, they're asking... What they are actually asking you is, where do I go from here? They'll phrase it in different and weird ways, but if you always give them an answer that matches the way they've asked the question, you can get them through whatever you need to do.
Who owned this axe before I did? Oh, the miller? Oh, I guess I gotta go see him. Hope he's still alive.
Oh! Unfortunate.
Nah, he's not.
He was, he worked too hard. He ground himself to death.
But he got ground down under the weight of responsibilities.
Oof. That's a big oof.
It's better than the blacksmith getting burned out.
Oh.
Yeah, way better.
I've been there, man. I feel you.
Town's falling on hard times, let me tell you.
Oh, next time on Oberon and Neptune beat up the planet. A weekend dungeon.
The wind howled at the washboard, sleeping underneath the moon. Our plan was hatched in a briar patch where lovers shook and swoon. Their lips stained with violet, their tongues tied into knots. To the loamy beds, their secrets, baby, we found.